Alright guys, it is that time of the year again. Welcome to the Smartphone Award for 2024. So big caveat, this award is based on only the phones that I have used, and there's only 12 months in a year, so there's only so many different phones I can use in 1 year. In general, when testing a phone, I would like to test it for at least 30 days. So you just pick one manufacturer like Samsung, they got 3 or 4 different phones that come out at the same time. If I test up their whole lineup, it's literally going to take me 3 to 4 months to really get an accurate review out. So I have to be selective of which phone I actually do use throughout the year, and it averaged about 12 phones or so that I can actually use in a full calendar year. And another thing you may have noticed if you've been watching my videos in the past is I'm no longer posting as frequently. There was one point where I used to do day in the life videos. Then I had a kid and time is not the same anymore. Then I try to do weekly. Now unfortunately it's just gonna be on an as needed basis. And the fact of the matter is smartphones are not really changing that much year to year anymore. So it's almost like pulling teeth trying to figure out the difference between the S23 and the S24. The changes are so minimal that's not really worth doing a full review on every single phone. So I'm going to be more selective with which phones that I do use going forward. I'll still post here and there, but at the end of the day, I do these reviews just because they're fun for me. But if they are becoming not as fun, then I gotta look at other options to make it more fun. With all that out of the way, so I have 10 categories for you, and each one I will have a winner. By the end of the video, I'm going to conclude it by having the MVP of 2024. So first category I have is the best big smartphone. I'm giving this to the OnePlus 12 just for the value alone. It clocks in at $800. It has 100 watt fast charging compared to the 45 watt fast charging on the Galaxy S24 Ultra. It is $800 compared to $1,300, and even the peak brightness is 4500 nits compared to 2600 nits. So just in terms of value alone, it costs $500 less, and it is going toe-to-toe with the best that Samsung has to offer. And I just think overall it's a really good phone. It has a charger included in the box, which you don't really see anymore from big manufacturers. It is fast, it has a great camera, and an awesome battery life along with extremely fast charging. So all that for an $800 price, which can get you the base model for the Samsung phone, but OnePlus, you're getting the best that they have to offer. So I think that's a no-brainer just in terms of big smartphone and if you're looking for value. And before jumping to the next category, just want to give a quick shout out to my partner Mint Mobile. Currently they offer a 5G plan for as low as $15 a month, and for a limited time only, you can buy a 12-month plan for 50% off to all new customers. Also equivalent to $15 a month, you get a full year of service, and this is the best deal of the year. It is also only good until January 2nd, 2025, so make sure that you take advantage of it as soon as you can. You get access to unlimited data, talk, and text. Overall, it is a great deal, so make sure to check them out. Link in the description below. The best compact phone, I'm going with the Galaxy S24. Some may argue flipping phones are compact, but I don't really consider them compact because it is compact when you close it, but once you open it up and use it, it's just like a regular phone, and I spent the majority of the time using the phone open. I rarely ever use it closed. If you do use it closed, then I guess you consider those compact. But for me, I just like the S24. It's just a more convenient phone to use. I don't need to have to worry about opening it up. It's already small as is. There's no need for an extra step. And these days, when you're talking about compact, you're looking at 6 inches, 6.1, 6.2, maybe 6.3. And believe it or not, back in the days, not even so long ago, the Note 10 or so is roughly 6.2 inches. So those were considered the large Galaxy Notes phone, but these days is considered the base standard phone, just because phones are getting larger and larger. And biggest reason for that is over time they managed to decrease the bezel so much that even though the phone is getting larger and larger just in terms of the screen size, but the phone itself is not really getting that big, so they've managed to cramming more screen onto same amount of space, which is impressive. But the S24 is my go-to. I still use it to this day. so easy to pull in and out of pocket, easy to use with one hand. It's still a little challenging to reach the top though, but there are not many other great small phones out there. And the S25, there's still going to be a small model, but beyond that, there's rumors that it may be going away. So we shall wait and see there. I know even iPhones, they had the mini phones at one point, and now even those are gone. I know people say they want a small phone, but they actually just end up buying larger phones. So people vote with their money. I personally do really enjoy using small phones. And if I were to pick a phone, definitely going to go with the Galaxy S24 just for the form factor alone. All right, next category I have is the best camera, which is the S24 Ultra. I mean, in general, you can't really go wrong with Apple, Samsung, or Google. Even OnePlus these days, they all have excellent camera. But for me, I just enjoy the Samsung camera, all the little features. You get the director's mode, the dual camera recording mode where you can use the front and back camera at the same time. You have the single take mode where you can record a 10-second clip. It will generate you a whole bunch of different footages, black and white photos, music. So there's a lot of fun things to do with the camera as compared to the Pixel camera. Even though the camera is really good, it's more basic and really straight to the point. Not a lot of features involved there. And even on Pixel phone, you cannot even switch between the main camera and the selfie camera while in the middle of recording. You literally have to hit stop and then record again. So Samsung, I just find that there's much more flexibility there. And best of all, even though I really like the iPhone camera for video recording, for some reason, if you have a Windows computer or even an Android phone, when I upload the video into Google Photos, the quality looks really weird. It has like a yellowish tint. I couldn't figure out a way around it. Even when I drag and drop into the computer, the same thing. I know if you have like an iPhone or a Mac, I'm pretty sure the quality is going to be better. You upload into their cloud, everything's going to work perfectly. So that's how Apple get you to be stuck in the ecosystem. But that's just something I don't really like. I like using different devices, different phones, different ecosystem. And that little bit of friction for me is enough to not award the iPhone the best camera. So I'm going with Samsung here. Next category I have is the Value Award. This is an interesting one, but I'm giving it to the Moto G Stylus 2024. This phone was released at roughly $400, and depending on where you buy it, especially in the US model, you can get it at $250 or so for 128 gigabyte. That's a really great value, and it really makes me question why you want to spend $1,000 on a smartphone. Motorola definitely give you a lot of bang for your buck, just in terms of anything you need in a smartphone. You want something that is fast. It is pretty fast. The battery is awesome. The camera, there's little hiccups here and there, but at $250, you can't really complain. Overall, I just think it's a great deal. You even get a stylus in the phone. If you want a stylus from Samsung, you gotta pay $1,300. So Motorola, great job there with the G Stylus in 2024. The Design Award. This year, it actually hasn't been in too many exciting innovations in 2024. Like these days, they got the flipping phone. Everyone either have the small compact flipping phone or the larger flipping phones. OnePlus did not even drop the second folding phone this year. So there wasn't many options available. I pretty much just tested the Z Fold 6 and then also the Pixel Fold. I did a bunch of other flips as well, but in general, if I were to get a folding phone, I would just get the bigger foldable. I know it's more expensive, but it's more practical. You get a larger screen whenever you want, so that's pretty cool. But if you get a regular flipping phone, you open it up, it just turns out to be a regular size smartphone, so I don't think there's a lot of incentives there. But anywho, with the Z Fold 6 this year, they made it lighter, they made it easier to use. My biggest complaint compared to the prior year is the Z Fold 5, which is way too heavy. Now they made it lighter, easier to use with one hand. So kudos there. I mean, they win by default, but I was debating whether or not to even keep this category, but it's a fun one to have, so I kept it in there, but not really slam dunk. I didn't test out any of the Honor phone or the crazy tri-folding phones or anything like that. If I did, those can easily be the best of 2024, but they are not readily available in the US unless you buy it from a third-party carrier and import it here. I'm just speaking from the perspective of phones that are readily available in the US that I can easily go and grab anytime I want. Next category I have is the best battery and iPhone has really impressed over the last few years. Last year was the iPhone 15 Pro Max. This year I only tested the 16 Plus model, and this is the first Plus phone I've ever used. In general, I always go for the best of the line phone or the base model. I never really try the Plus, but really impressive with the Plus battery life. I get 48 hours of battery life, so 2 full days just going all full throttle, video recording, music, blasting from speakers, watching YouTube, playing games. I did not let up on this phone, but battery just kept on going and going, and it is the only phone this year that did not give me any battery anxiety. So very impressive. 2 full days of use, maybe a little bit more depending on how much or little you use the phone. Best foldable phone, going back to the folding category again, I am giving it to the Z Fold 6 once again. If OnePlus just released a foldable this year and made one minor tweak, I would give it to them, but they did not in 2024. So unfortunately, they are eliminated, but I really like OnePlus just because their crease is very minimal compared to Samsung, but it really comes down to the Z Fold 6 and the Pixel Fold that I used this year. And I'm decided to go with Samsung just because I prefer One UI. I know some people are hardcore Pixel enthusiasts. They like the simple stock Android. I just like the extra features more, but that's just my own personal take. So it's kind of a toss-up between this and the Pixel Fold, to be honest. Next category I have is the most improved. I'm giving this to the Moto Razr 2024. So this phone costs about $700, which is less than the Galaxy S24 base model at $800, and you are getting a larger display this year compared to last year, and it is $300 less than the Plus model. You're pretty much getting almost everything that you are getting in the Plus model. You even have the ultra wide angle camera, which the Plus model eliminated. I just find that you want to get your feet wet in the folding game and you want to try something that is small and cool. The Razr 2024 is a perfect option, and it doesn't really break the bank at $700. $700 is not cheap by any means, but back in the days, flagship phone, they cost $700, and for this phone to come in with new folding technology, well, not really new at this point, but still expensive for the most part. The Z Flip 6 costs $1,100, and all the bigger foldables, they cost close to $2,000. So at $700, you're really getting a great deal. It is a big improvement compared to last year. You're getting a larger screen. You can use all the apps on the outer screen. Pretty much the same experience as the Plus model. So no brainer there, just in terms of the most improved for 2024. Bust of the year. This may come as a shocker, but I'm giving it to the Z Flip 6. I use the Z Flip 6. I have the Z Flip 5 from last year. Honestly, the Z Flip 6 is just not that memorable. The Razr Plus 2024 got the better looking display on the front. They have higher refresh rate. The Z Flip 6 costs $100 more, but it's not too much different from the Z Flip 5, so I don't really think it is justified. The battery life is maybe a tad better, a couple hours here and there. But other than that, they slap some AI on it. They call it a new phone and charge more, but you can get the same AI with the Galaxy S24 at $800. So I don't think you really get your bang for your buck with the Z Flip 6. With the Z Fold 6, there's definitely drastic improvements just in terms of the weight, the ergonomic. I think that is a more notable change compared to the Z Flip 6. It is pretty minimal, no major changes except for the price increases and the new AI tricks. In a world where we got the Motorola offering a cheaper model at $700, Samsung does not offer any cheaper flipping models unless you buy the model from the year before. So I think the Z Flip 6 is a bust this year. Alright, last but not least, we got the MVP award. I'm giving this to the OnePlus 12R. I did not think I was going to be liking OnePlus this much, but overall, I think they are the new hero. Samsung used to be the hero until they came really big. Now I feel like they're the villain. They're pretty much copying Apple for everything. But I think OnePlus 12R is still doing their own thing. The 12R comes in at $500 or $600 depending on which variant you get, and that is much less than the Galaxy S24 model. It has 36 hours of battery life, which is the best that I've tested on any Android phone this year. It is a large phone if you're into that. It has 4500 nits peak brightness compared to the 2600 on the Samsung phones. It has a charger included in the box. You can get up to 100 watt fast charging, 16 gigs of RAM compared to 8 gigs of RAM on the Samsung base model, 100 watt fast charging compared to 25 watt fast charging for the Samsung's base model. So overall, I think it's a no-brainer, and for all the specs, you get a lot of value there. So it is a great phone, it is fast, it has a decent camera, and an awesome battery life with the extremely fast charging with the brick included in the box. Not sure what more you can ask for there. The only thing that I do wish OnePlus did is made a smaller variant. So a compact version of the 12R with all the same specs at 6-inch or less, that would be a slam dunk for me. I don't like large phones. Unfortunately, in order to get the best phones out there, you have to get the bigger phones. But one can only pray and hope that smaller phones will still stick around. So some of the notable things I want to point out is I did not test any of the other Pixel phones beside the Pro Fold. I feel like it's pretty much the same experience, except the other models are cheaper and they don't fold. The iPhone 16 Plus, I only used the Plus model. I did not use the base model or the Pro or the Pro Max. But in general, iPhone, really great battery, so you can't really go wrong with any of them. Didn't test out any of the Chinese brand, the Honor Magic, the Huawei triple folding phones, and any of the cool stuff they have over there, just because it's not easily available in the US. But once again, my words are based on the phones that I have used. Let me know your thoughts, if you agreed, disagreed, anything that really stood out to you. Appreciate the time as always. Remember to like and subscribe, and see you guys in the next video.